every time I come out of the gap and start formulating my experience of the gap or saying some words, creating a concept, where am I? Yeah, I'm in the thought. I'm in the mind. It's the next arising. Yes, so this has to become very clear. Yeah? People usually confuse mind and consciousness. Yeah? These are two different levels of existence, which we are going to now see in the next 3 sutras. He's going to clarify the doubt that arises. Am I the mind or am I the consciousness, or is it the same? There's this kind of confused, subtle confusion somewhere inside us. Sometimes we cannot put it in words, but he clarifies that also going ahead. Yeah. A second level of doubt that occurs is, okay, I understand I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. I understand that I'm the witness, but how do I know this witness only is the consciousness? Yeah. So he clarifies that also. He will not leave any room for any doubt to emerge. Yeah. So let's be very aware to see how we can eradicate these two doubts. 2.4. So whenever you say, I have consciousness, what am I saying? I am different and consciousness is different and consciousness is inside me. Are you saying this? This is what I'm saying. So I'm separating consciousness from I. So this is a wrong understanding. Again, I have gone back to the same taking a stand as the body, where I feel the body is everything or matter is everything. In that matter, there is a small mind, and in that mind, there is the small dot of consciousness. This is the perspective I'm taking when I say I have consciousness. Yeah. Then you're back to Advaita level 1, if this is the way you're thinking. Advaita level 1 is what? Who remembers? Creation precedes consciousness, means Srishti Drishti Vada is Advaita level 1. Yeah, that's okay for beginners who've just come from science and that's all they know. So we start there. We start at duality, but the purpose is to recognize I am that non-dual witness. Yes. So if you're still thinking like that, I have consciousness inside me, then you're back to Advaita level 1. Very clear? Yeah. Now second, I am conscious. Again, I'm making consciousness a property. Yes, a property that I possess. Do you get it? Again, I am separating it out. Yeah. So, these both understandings are very level 1 understandings, basic understandings. Yeah, we won't call them wrong, but it is not the complete understanding yet. You have to still progress a little bit. Yeah. So he who says I have consciousness or I am conscious, he is separating consciousness from himself. It is surprising. Yeah. So again and again, whenever you take the stand, the wrong stand, where you're seeing, oh, it is the body that has consciousness, correct your stand to the correct stand. It is the consciousness which has projected this mind, body and world. Yeah. Correcting your stand is the core tool, the key. Yeah. If you miss the key, then you miss Atmananda completely. Yeah. The correcting that stand is what will allow you to see in future, if not today, that you are consciousness. Choicelessly. You don't have a choice to be the mind or to be the body. And you cannot say things like, oh, only sometimes I find myself as the witness, otherwise I'm always in the body and mind. These are all stories created by the mind. Yeah? You are choiceless awareness. Yeah? These are J. Krishnamurti's words. Very beautifully coined, I think it's perfect. Choiceless awareness. You are choicelessly aware. You don't have an option but to be the consciousness. You are consciousness. You are not conscious. You are consciousness. Big difference between the two. Yeah? So, shift your perspective. Shift your perspective. Yeah? When you start experiencing yourself as that objectless consciousness, doesn't matter in meditation, closed-eyed meditation or open-eyed, whenever you start realizing that, you see very clearly, oh, there is the void, there is a big void, and in that an arising comes and goes, comes and goes. I am that void. I am not this thought. I am not this feeling. Yeah? I am that void, that container, that space, that quietness in which this arose and went away. Yeah? So take it as your homework. Whenever there are clouds of anger, hatred, jealousy, lust, greed, whatever is bothering you in your little bubble, whenever these things arise and the mind just is all over the place, yeah, just one glimpse is sufficient. One glimpse in between those two arisings. Oh, I am that gap. I don't have an option but to just rest in that gap. Even when I'm getting angry and shouting, even between two sentences, I do take a pause. I have to come to the gap. It is not possible, Atmananda says, that you can exist without falling back into that gap again and again. So moment to moment to moment, you get into that state of no mind, no thought, no arising. Take your energy from there and strengthen that impression. Yeah? Then you will not be in that wrong boat of saying, I have consciousness, I am conscious. You will be in the right boat, recognizing, I am consciousness. Yeah. Now we'll go on to the most important two sutras. Before we go ahead, can you open a new page? Divide it into, draw a line in the center, divide it into two. Verse 2.5. So that means he's talking about some two categories. Yeah. He's saying first category is known. So you've divided your page into two, correct? On one side write known, on the other side write knower. Yeah. The two categories, known and the knower. what does he say comes under the known? Not consciousness. Yeah, so you put not consciousness under known. Yeah, we're going step by step, making an attempt to understand what is he saying in this verse. Yeah, so now under known you will put not consciousness. Before moving ahead, tell me what is not consciousness. Do you understand what is not consciousness?
The physical and mental objects are not consciousness.
Perfect. Did you understand her answer?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Let's take an example to understand what she's saying clearly. So when I say what is not consciousness, let's look at this physical body. Put your hand in front of you. What do you say? I am conscious of the hand, or is the hand conscious of me? I am conscious of the hand. Very simple. Yes? You cannot say, oh, the hand is also conscious of me. The hand is looking at me. No, the body is not consciousness. Very, very clear? The body comes under the category of not consciousness. Physical is very clear. Yes? Now let's look at the mental object she's talking about. Mental object is thought. Yeah? How many of you have a doubt that the thought can know the witness? Then right now who is knowing everything? Who's understanding? Who's analyzing? Mind. Of course, mind is nothing else but thought, no? Thought plus feeling is equal to mind. What else is mind? Are you imagining some container? That is again your imagination. There is no container called the mind in which there are many things inside. There is no entity. Brain is not equal to mind. Huh? If you think like that, please demote it to Advaita level 1. Yeah. So, what is thought really? Does thought have consciousness? Look carefully. In your own experience right now, you're looking at a screen. Ekta is saying something that is creating thoughts in your mind. Either you're saying a yes or you're saying a no, you're saying I understand, I don't get this, some comment. Yes? So thought arises and there is the witness recognizing that the thought arose and went away. Another thought arose and went away. Is it possible for the thought to look back at the witness? No. The thought cannot look back at the witness and say, I am conscious of the witness. But the witness is conscious of the thought arising and setting. Very clear? Yes? So, mind is equal to thought, nothing else. Huh? Same with feeling. You have a feeling, maybe you're sad today or you're very happy. Some feelings are going on inside you. Can the feeling turn back and look at the witness? No, the witness is conscious. There is happiness, there is joy. The witness knows that there is joy or happiness. Joy or happiness cannot look back at the witness and say, hey, hi, witness. Doesn't work. There is no such direct experience. Yes? So is this very clear? The mind is not conscious of the witness. The witness is conscious of the mind. So, what comes under not consciousness? Two aspects, she said. Physical objects and mental objects. So, physical body is nothing but perception and sensation, and the mind is nothing but thought and feeling. That is what comes under not consciousness. Very clear? Now we go back to Atmananda's sentence. what is not consciousness comes under the category of the known. Is it your experience? Yeah. Do you know perception? Yes. Do you know sensation? Yes. Do you know thought? Yes. Do you know feeling? Yes. These are all that come under the category of the known. Physical body and the mind are known. Super clear? First line is super clear. Yeah. Now, first understand where is he going. Under your known, you have put not consciousness. So what will go under knower? What knows that which is not consciousness? Consciousness knows not consciousness. Is that clear? Yeah. So you put consciousness under the knower. And who knows the body? Right now we are not even going to the assumption that consciousness knows the body, because we still have a doubt. This is where the doubt is getting clarified. We've approached this sutra with the doubt that how do I know that I, the witness who is witnessing the body and mind, is equal to the consciousness? How do I know that? Yeah, so we are approaching this sutra with that doubt. That is why this chapter's name is Nirvishayam Bodham. Yeah, it is a doubt about the consciousness. So, we are still not going to assume that it is consciousness that is the knower of the physical body. What is your direct experience? Who is the knower of the physical body? I. In my direct experience, just I. Plain I. I am the knower of the physical body. I am the witness of the physical body. I am the knower of the thought arising and falling. I am the witness of the thought arising and falling. But I still don't know if I is the same as consciousness. In my direct experience, I still do not know if I is equal to consciousness. Is this correct? So, all I really know is I am the knower of the physical body. I am the knower of the mind. Yes. And it makes sense that consciousness is the knower of that which is not consciousness. Yeah. So, now in your knower table, you will write I. I know the physical body. I know the mind. Okay, now let's experiment with his last sentence. He says, the I is always the knower and can never be the known. Is this your direct experience? Confident? Yes, yes. I am always the knower of the body, knower of the mind, but I cannot look back and know myself. Is that correct? Or is Ekta assuming? Is it correct? Yeah. How much ever I try, I cannot turn back and look at myself. I is always the knower and it is never the known. It can never be the known. Yes, correct. Atmananda gets your verification stamp. Yes, good. You're right. Yes, good. So now if you've understood till here very clearly, experientially, now we go into the last part to understand how I is equal to consciousness then. This part I have always been taking it from the teacher, from the scripture. Yeah, my experiences of the I. Yes, and it obviously makes sense that consciousness knows that which is not consciousness. Not consciousness cannot know consciousness. So this part of the proof is very, very clear. This part is direct experience. I experience the body and mind. Now, the last part, I have to recognize how I is equal to consciousness. Yes. So now I will keep this slide on the board so that you'll have this in front of you. And now turn to a new page, divide the page into two. On the left side, write consciousness. On the right side, write I. You will have this behind me to refer to. Yeah, so now, according to this table, which is behind me, not the table that is on your paper, this one. Consciousness is the one that knows, and that which is not consciousness is the one that is known. So, which is the subject and which is the object? Consciousness is the subject and not consciousness is the object. Yes? When I am the knower of the body and I am the knower of the mind, which is the subject, which is the object? I is the subject. Mind and body are objects. So are you saying I is the subject, consciousness is the subject? That is the first similarity that you can write down in your table. I'm just giving a few examples. Yeah? This is experiential totally. Yeah, but we're writing it down just so that the veiling power of Maya does not take it away from us by the time we get to the next sutra. Yeah, otherwise you forget what you learnt in the previous sutra. So we make notes so that it becomes very clear. Yeah, so the first point in your table is consciousness is the subject, I is the subject. This is the similarities between consciousness and I table. Yeah. Now, tell me, does consciousness have any shape, any color? No. Does I have any shape, any color? So, consciousness has no shape, no color, no form. I has no shape, no color, no form. Yeah, that's similarity number 2. Does consciousness have a location? No, consciousness has no location. Does I have a location? Can you figure out? Oh, I am here. No, I am here. No, maybe here. Does I have a location? Yeah. So consciousness has no location. I has no location. Okay. He said in his previous sutra that I cannot be known. Yeah. Let's look carefully. Can consciousness perceive I? Can I perceive consciousness? The I does not perceive consciousness. I cannot know I. The consciousness cannot perceive consciousness. Are you seeing this? I'm just giving you a few examples to bring out the similarities between the pure experience of I as the I sense and consciousness. You can continue that table later, find other similarities. Yeah, from those similarities, it is so clear I is equal to consciousness. Consciousness is equal to I. There is no difference. Yeah? I cannot turn back and look at myself. Consciousness cannot experience consciousness. Yeah? Those are the similarities. I is equal to consciousness. So now let's read the last sutra. Yeah, sada is always. It cannot be that, only when I am very much at peace, then I am in the consciousness, otherwise I am in the body and mind. No, there is no I the body or I the mind. Those are just concepts, labels, assumptions, conditionings. I am consciousness. I have always been the consciousness. I've just not recognized the truth. That is all that has happened. That is all that has happened. Yeah. No, we all refer to ourselves as I. It is our common name. Have you noticed that? Yeah, it is a common name. We all have one name actually, I. And what does this I really refer to? Really look, does it refer to this body? Does it refer to the mind? Or does it refer to that Sat, the being, the consciousness, that sense that I have of being? Yeah? That is who I am. Yeah? So I will give you one homework that you have to do. I'll start you with the homework. I'll give you 4-5 examples. You have to continue. One table I already gave you. Draw the similarities between consciousness and I. I gave you 3-4 examples there. You can continue with that table. One more we have to explore. Now this has to be a homework. Don't take it just because Atmananda is saying I is equal to consciousness. You prove it to yourself. You do your own self-exploration. That is very important. Yeah. Come up with all kinds of doubts to try and break it. No, how can I equal to consciousness? Let me see if I can prove this wrong. So you have to break all your doubts. Then only can you rest. Otherwise, you will never be able to rest as the awareness, the witness. Yeah. So your last homework is to recognize if Atmananda is saying I is equal to consciousness, that means that whatever applies to consciousness should apply to me. Yeah. So till today, what have we learned about consciousness? One, consciousness does not suffer. Therefore, I should not suffer or I do not suffer. Does that apply? You check. The only thing is you'll have to take the correct stand to check the answer. You can't take the stand as the body and mind. Yeah? No fake I stand, the real I stand. And notice, even in the most difficult situation that happened in your life till today, the most difficult situation, there was one very strong part of you that was not affected. You remember that? The body and mind and ego were creating their drama in that difficult situation, but there was one part of you that was untouched. Most of us have experienced this. Yeah? And we mask that experience out of guilt that, I should be feeling involved in that situation. I'm the father, I'm the mother, I'm the grandparent, I'm the child. I should be behaving like this. Should be. I should be feeling like this. This is a story that I have told my body, mind, ego, and the body, mind, ego has believed that story and is behaving like that in that dramatic situation. Yeah, but there was one part of you very clear, standing at the back, uninvolved. Yeah. Do I recognize that I do not suffer? Yeah. The true I. I'll give you a few more examples to continue that homework. Consciousness does not come and go. Consciousness is. Yeah, Atmananda says consciousness is there in the waking state, it is there in the dreaming state, and it is there in the deep sleep state. Consciousness does not come and go. Yeah, it is there. It's the substratum of existence. It's always there. Yeah, now it should apply to me. I do not come and go. Can I explore this? Yeah. Thoughts come. Can you see the thoughts come and go? Can you see the sensations come and go? Can you see the feelings come and go? Have you ever experienced awareness come and go? You can never experience awareness come and go. You only experience the thought come and go. You never experience the awareness come and go. Explore this a little bit more. Yeah, you will say, no, but in that boring lecture of that teacher, I was sitting in that class and I was unaware of what she said for 10 minutes. This is just English language. Yeah, it's like saying I was unconscious for 10 minutes. Were you unconscious? And that's why I prefer Atmananda's words. Conscious makes more sense. No, I was not unconscious. I was just lost in thought. Yeah. I was not conscious of the classroom per se, but I was conscious of daydreaming about my beloved one, how I'm going to go for ice cream in the evening with him or her. So I was daydreaming. I was conscious of something else. I was conscious. Yeah. So prove it to yourself. Next homework. Can I prove it to myself that there are moments when I am not conscious or I'm not aware? Can I prove it to myself that awareness comes and goes? This is your homework for the week, okay? Consciousness, next third point in your table we can write. Consciousness does not have any limits, any edges. So I should also not have any limits, any edges. Can I explore this awareness, this witnessing, and come to that same conclusion that Atmananda is saying, I is equal to consciousness. I does not have limits and edges. Consciousness does not have limits and edges. Can I explore this? Take it up as homework. I am going to explore this and understand this week. And let's take that one I told you about. Atmananda says that the consciousness is present in the waking state, in the dreaming state, and in the deep sleep state. Yeah. It is present when there are physical and mental objects. It is present even in the absence of physical and mental objects. So in deep sleep state, it's the absence of physical and mental objects. Can I explore this? Can I understand this in my own experience and then say, yes, therefore I is equal to consciousness? Yes, these verses are so concise because the intention is that the spiritual seeker explores and figures this out, understands it, rather than just by-hearting it and chanting it. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to take you anywhere. Singing a song out of it is not going to take you anywhere. Explore this truth and recognize, is this my truth? Yes? And don't very easily get into blind belief and blind faith just because Ekta is saying it or Atmananda is saying it. No. I have to really explore and I have to become very clear. Yes? So when you become very clear, I is equal to consciousness, then the rest of the journey becomes very simple. Very simple. Then it's just a matter of deconditioning. All conditioning needs to slowly shed off, because all those conditionings were created by the fake belief, I am the body or I am the mind. Yeah. Very clear? This week's homework is clear? Yeah. Self-exploration is a mandatory step on Atmananda's direct path. It is not about intellectual analysis. Yeah, I'll tell you one more very important thing for people who are stuck intellectually. Intellectual analysis is nothing but mind, means thought. Mind can only analyze anything at the level in front of it, which is the physical body and the world. It cannot turn back and recognize the witness. Do you get it? Most of the people who are lost in intellectual analysis only, they are trying to turn back and look at the witness. It is not possible. Drop the intellectual analysis after a point and experientially notice, yes, I am the witness of this body. The hands are moving, the lips are moving, eyes are closed or open. I am the witness of the mind. The thought is arising and setting. I am the witness. I can only be the witness. I cannot see the witness. Yeah, this is called self-exploration. Is it very clear? Yeah. So the intellectual analysis happens at the level of the mind. Self-exploration happens at the level of the witness. It is the witness that notices the mind and the body, then withdraws from the mind and the body and senses itself. It cannot even see itself. So don't try to turn behind and see yourself. You cannot see anything. Yeah, and then all the Dhongi Babas come up with, oh, try to see a white light and a blue light and yellow light, and that is yourself. Ore Baba, there is nothing like that, okay? You're not going to see any white light and blue light and yellow light. So don't fool yourself. Yeah. Every time your mind fools you or somebody else fools you, remember Atmananda's words. The I is always the knower and can never be the known. Yes? Always remember this. It's Shloka 2.5. Put it up big somewhere if you have been following somebody who has told you to look at some white light and blue light and yellow light. I cannot be known. The consciousness cannot be known. Cannot be seen. You understand the meaning of known, right? It cannot be seen. It cannot be heard. It cannot be tasted. It cannot be touched. It cannot be smelled. Yeah, it cannot even be thought of. It is beyond the mind. You can just be the consciousness. You cannot see or touch or perceive or taste or smell. Yeah, so do not go that way at all. All good?